If there is one thing humans despise above all else, it is the feeling of not knowing. For thousands of years, society has worked tirelessly to explain the inexplicable, using everything from science and archaeology to religion. While this inquisitive nature has led to some incredible discoveries, it has also resulted in the creation of false narratives. Pseudo-archaeology, nationalistic ideas, and society's fascination with the supernatural can cause false information to spread like wildfire.
Christopher Columbus is credited as the first to have discovered the New World, though it is widely debated whether he was actually there first. The alternative theories range from archaeologically sound claims that Nordic travelers reached North America first to bogus claims with no concrete evidence. One such theory claims that Africans were the first to visit the New World, bringing with them influences of Egypt and Nubia. Professor Ivan van Sertima famously created this theory, now known as Afrocentric hyperdiffusion. Van Sertima's book, They Came Before Columbus, creates a narrative explaining how Egyptian and Nubian influence are present in Olmec monuments.
Van Sertima's first claim surrounds the most iconic symbol of ancient Egypt, the pyramids. He suggests that upon reaching the New World, Egypto-Nubian travelers showed the Olmecs how to build pyramids. At face value, this would explain why there are pyramids in both Mesoamerica and Egypt, but when this claim is examined on a deeper level, questions begin to form. Egyptian pyramids are smooth-sided, with no easy access to the interior of the pyramid. Mesoamerican pyramids, however, are step pyramids designed to allow easy access. Beyond the physical appearance, the pyramids also differ in function. Egyptian pyramids were built as tombs for the elite and ruling classes, while the Mesoamerican ones were used as temples. Van Sertima's claim is finally debunked by the one thing he neglected to consult in his own work: an accurate timeline. The last Egyptian step pyramid was built in 2630 BC, and the last smooth pyramid in 1777 BC. Van Sertima's claim that Egypto-Nubians taught the Olmecs how to build pyramids thus relies on one of two scenarios: either a detailed record describing how the pyramids were built being brought to the New World, or transatlantic time travel. The lack of detailed evidence of how the pyramids were built has led to the creation of pseudo-archaeological claims that aliens built the pyramids, thus debunking the first scenario. Van Sertima's mythic voyages did not occur until 1200 to 680 BC, a range that stretches from 500 to almost 1,000 years after the last Egyptian pyramid was built. Unless the ancient Egyptians managed to invent time travel nearly 4,000 years before humans first went into space, this timeline conclusively disproves Van Sertima's theory.
Another reason why it was thought that Egyptians and Nubians influenced Mesoamerica was due to the appearance of the colossal heads. These heads are located in Tabasco and Veracruz, Mexico, and due to the Negroid depiction of facial features, it was thought by other archaeologists that they were influenced by Nubians, as it was thought that they had similar features. This is actually a myth. One of the facial features that was mentioned was the nose of the colossal heads due to the flatness. This is incorrect, as there is archaeological evidence that the nose shape of the two civilizations are different. Nubians had thin and long noses due to the fact that they lived in the dry desert. On the other hand, the Olmecs had flatter and shorter noses because they lived in the lower wetlands. As a result, the Olmecs would be more comparable to Western Africans rather than the Nubians of Eastern Africa. The Western Africans also lived in wet tropical areas like the Olmecs. The colossal heads even had the features of Mexicans who still live in the lower wetlands today. Also, some of the colossal heads can be too old to fall under the influence of Nubians. Archaeologists have said that due to the sculpting techniques, the heads fall within the early formative period. There is also evidence of a head from San Lorenzo, Mexico, being carved, mutilated, and buried between 1428 and 1011 BC. This is actually prior to when Van Sertima alleged Nubian voyagers arrived in Mesoamerica in 1200 BC. Also, it was said that people from the Phocian civilization helped lead the voyage because of their sailing expertise. This assumption was made due to the finding of a sculpted stela of Phocian sailors. This claim could not be proved to be true, as the sculpted stelas were produced in the mid-formative period, which is several hundred years later than the colossal heads.
While Van Sertima's theory may seem logical at face value, it is clear that his argument is not only implausible, but ultimately impossible. There is no concrete evidence that Egyptians and Nubians came to the New World, and Van Sertima's assertions about their influence on the Olmecs are easily debunked by consulting historical records and an accurate timeline. Hyperdiffusionism is yet another in a long string of false narratives surrounding ancient Egypt, and due to the curious nature and love of conspiracy theories that all humans share, it will not be the last one to surface.